of Chinese culture, and they enrich the traditional Chinese culture. Now, it is time for some bad news. The bad news is understanding another culture. It is very difficult. It is very difficult. I myself is a living example. I was born and grew up in China. I came to the United States when I was 21, and I attended college. And after a few years, I get graduated and I get married and settle down and raise a family. And I have two beautiful children, and my daughter just started the first year in college. And I watched my two children grow, and I learned along with them about the Western culture. I consider myself a student of history, so I read extensively about ancient Greek, Roman Empire, European history. I'm fascinated by American Civil War. I read the biographies of Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. I visited the Civil War battlegrounds, for example, the Lost Bluff in Leesburg, Manassas, Antietam, Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg. I know more about American history than average American people, but I cannot claim that I know what's at heart of American culture. I just simply don't get it. And the same holds true for American people to understand Chinese culture, or for any other people from different culture to understand Chinese culture as well. And well, the news will get worse in my next couple of slides. As a matter of fact, it will get much, much worse. Because we are living in the middle of a dark age, a cultural dark age. In 1949, Chinese Communist Party came to power. And the ideology of Communist Party is materialistic and anti-theistic. They promote class struggle instead of the harmony between man and nature, as the traditional culture emphasizes. So in order to make room for its ideology, the party systematically destroyed traditional Chinese culture, demonizing it as a superstition. And during the Cultural Revolution, the party went on large destruction of our cultural heritage. Most of our most treasured cultural relics were destroyed. For example, on the left is a pulling down of a monument in Confucius Mansion. On the right is a humiliation and a destruction of Confucius statue. It amounts to the same or even more than pulling down the Washington Monument and the destruction and humiliation of Lincoln Memorial. And unfortunately, this suppression goes on today. Yes, it goes on today. It becomes sophisticated, but it's still suppressing the traditional culture today. For example, the party no longer destroys cultural relics. On the contrary, they promote the Confucius Institute in China and overseas. Now, get this. What the party promotes are the shadows on the wall. What the party promotes are the containers, not the essence of Confucius' teaching, which is self-discipline and veneration for the divine. More than 60 years have passed since 1949. 2 generations. Many things can happen. Many things can be forgotten. Chinese people born after 1949 opened their eyes to a spiritual desert. They are no longer familiar with their own culture. They are no longer familiar with their own heritage. If Chinese people cannot recognize their own culture, if Chinese people forget about their own heritage, isn't this magnificent civilization on the brink of extinction? It is. And when people walk away from self-discipline and veneration for the divine, bad things will happen. Bad things have happened. Piracy, corruption are rampant. Trust is a rare commodity in China today. And the respect and the protection of intellectual property is non-existent. Counterfeiting is increasingly becoming a problem. As a matter of fact, China is our #1 source country of counterfeiting goods. Fake drugs were sold to treat hypertension, diabetes, skin diseases, and other complicated illnesses, including cancer. Counterfeiting goods were found in the U.S. military. So as you can see, this cultural dark age is not only limited in cultural realm, it is not only limited in China, it affects you and your loved ones. Now, amazing, in this dark hour of the dark age, a hope emerged. The traditional culture has a magical way of staying alive in people's mind and heart, waiting to be awakened, waiting to be rekindled. A renaissance is going on today. A renaissance is right at the corner, and the Shen Yun performing arts is leading the way. And the Shen Yun performing arts is driving this tidal wave, and it creates rising tide that lifts all boats.
What has lasted 5,000 years was once almost lost. Now, the world awaits the divine culture's return. Shen Yun.
Shen Yun is a spectacular dance and music show that showcases the essence of 5,000 years civilization through classical Chinese dance, original live music, state-of-the-art animated backdrop, and hundreds of exquisite handcrafted costumes. Beginning each year with all new programs, Shen Yun tours over 100 cities and reaches more than 1 million audience members. And they will come to Kennedy Center next January. It is a show about 2.5 hours long, consists of 20 different programs. Most of them are classical Chinese dance and many are story-based. And what you see here is this dance is called Mulan Joins the Battlefield. It tells the story of one of China's most famous heroines. And the Mulan story is the example of China's two ancient virtues. One, loyalty to your emperor. Second, filial piety. That means respect and caring for your parents. And the Mulan story is of self-sacrifice as she took the place of her ailing and old father in the place in the imperial army. She joined army, fought war for 12 years, and became a celebrated general. And when the campaign is over, Mulan got accommodation from the emperor. And no one knew that they were fighting alongside with a girl. And Shen Yun's version of Mulan gives a very dramatic but authentic retelling of our heroine's journey. It is quite different than its Disney's counterpart. And one very unique feature of Shen Yun's show is the innovative use of high-tech animated backdrop. And I'm not able to show you the animation part because it's a static picture. It tells a story, it's a legend. A long time ago, all of a sudden there 9 suns appeared in the sky, scorching the earth. So the god sent his general to take care of the problem. So the general descended on earth and he shoot down the suns. Every time our hero let the magical arrow fly, the fly hits the sun bursts into fireball and drops in the ocean. And then all the music, the choreography, and the animation are in perfect synchronization. You don't have to understand the Chinese language, but you will not have any problem to understand the dance. Not only you will understand the story, more importantly, you will understand the virtues and the principles behind the story. Other than story-based dance, Shen Yun also includes quite a few ethnic folk dance. What you see here is a Mongolian bowl dance. Mongolian people usually perform this hospitality dance at the feast to encourage the guests to eat and drink more. So they tend to include the tableware in their dance. I can assure you those bowls are real. They are not something attached to the hair, because at the end of the dance, the performers will disassemble the bowls and display them on the floor. Now, I don't know whether you've seen the Mongolian dance before or not. Mongolian dance is featured by the wild shake of their shoulder while keep the balls in balance. It is quite unique.